What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Wednesday, the old hump day rush hour, May 17, 2023. Welcome in, everybody. Please hop in the chat. Your comments and questions are going to drive the show as usual. Today we're talking, our main topic is going to be conference realignment. Let's blow up the ACC, blow up the Pac-12, and reshuffle everybody. So who do you want in the Big Ten out of those two conferences? Let's say the ACC just can't figure out this grant of rights deal and how to get out of this screw job by ESPN. Who do you want to take? Let's say it just fractures apart both conferences. We're going to talk about Oregon and Washington supposedly being quote unquote vetted and cleared. Not sure what that means. So I know what it means, like the definition, but what's going on? Are the Big Ten brass just dragging their feet or what? ACC though, let's start with them. We've heard rumblings for the last few days. They had their meetings recently up in Amelia Island. And so the reports are there's 7 teams in the ACC that have met with their legal teams and lawyered up heavy, and they're examining the league's grant of rights. Now, it's not good that they haven't figured out a solution yet. They've been talking about this for a while. We remember the Florida State AD, right? Remember back in February, he was on a Zoom call with a board of trustees for Florida State. And he said that they could not, as a school, compete nationally if they fall $30 million behind their peers in the SEC and Big Ten. He's more than 30 million behind it. It's going to be a lot more than that, dude. So I don't think they expect to get even close in the ballpark of the SEC and Big Ten as a conference. So, but then you talk about what about uneven revenue sharing for like Florida State, Clemson, your best teams. This is funny to me though. So the Big 12 has a TV deal that's I think it's almost hammered out with Fox Sports and ESPN. I'm not sure it's official yet, but UCF, as I like to call it, the University of Orlando, UCF, who joins the Big 12 very soon, could have a better TV deal than Florida State. UCF will be making more money on their TV deal than FSU. Let that sink in for a second, because that is freaking hilarious. So, what does that mean for the Big Ten and the SEC? Both will be at 16 teams, 16 schools as of the 2024 season. You got Texas, Oklahoma joining the SEC. Obviously, USC, UCLA joining the Big Ten. There are rumors, supposedly a Big Ten source, again, don't know what that is. It could be just a janitor that overheard something at a meeting. So supposedly Big Ten is interested in Virginia and North Carolina. Those would be new markets for the Big Ten down the East Coast. Again, stretching that coast to coast, travel for the teams and the college kids. But I guess well, don't know what to tell you. But let me hop in the chat here, see what's happening. What's up, PC? Go Bucks. Good to see you. What's up, Billy? Yo, Joe, are you a G.I. Joe fan, Billy? Yo, Joe. Okay, PC. First and foremost, bring in Notre Dame. Yeah, that's the third wheel to this. They're always the third wheel, right? Freaking Notre Dame. Why the hell are they still independent? Can't answer that. They are a Big Ten team. Yeah, they're not an SEC team. We know that. They may play an ACC schedule, but they're not an SEC team. And they would never join the SEC. What else we got here? PC, UCF, more like WTF. Yep. Temper in the chat. What's up, Temper? He likes West Virginia, Pitt, Clemson, Notre Dame. Yeah. You do have to wonder what's going through some of these schools' heads, man. Yeah, Billy says that UCF is largest school in the country. Yeah, enrollment wise, yeah. They've got a long way to go in terms of athletic department and especially on the football field. We know that. And you got a guy named Gus as your freaking head coach, the Golden Knights. But they're going to take, that's going to take decades, man. At least one. What else we got here? PC says Virginia, maybe, but UNC, no to UNC, huh? Okay. Brian Johnson, what's up? Any thoughts on Miami and UNC to join the Big Ten? Salute, Joe. Appreciate you, Brian. Much appreciated. And go Bucks, definitely. I don't have a problem with bringing the Canes in. I know everybody hates them. I mean, their fan base is a bunch of, we know what their fan base is, and they probably feel like they owe us one after the 2002 national championship. So they probably want some payback. So they might want in that Big Ten, I don't see how this ACC lasts. I think as a conference, these guys they're in big freaking trouble, man. So yeah, I don't know. So many mediocre teams in that ACC, like you got schools that are good at basketball, but not good at football. What's funny is if you go to the ACC.com website, they have Notre Dame listed with all their teams. It goes BC, Clemson, Duke, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Miami, North Carolina, NC State, Notre Dame, Pitt, Syracuse, Virginia, Vatech, and Wake Forest. Notre Dame is listed on their conference website. That's weird. Wonder why that is. Yeah, PC says that maybe UNC, if the ACC completely implodes, they would have to go somewhere, but I think the SEC would be a strong place for them. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, the grant of rights, man, ESPN must have some badass lawyers because out of all these schools, like law schools like Duke and shit, they cannot figure out a way to get the fuck out of this deal. It's fucking laughable, man. Florida teams should stay in the SEC. Yeah, but wouldn't you like to get as a Big Ten recruiter, like say you're Brian Hartline, wouldn't you like to have recruit against Miami down in South Florida? Or it's just you're gonna be able to tell those recruits' families that, hey, you're gonna see your son on TV playing for the Buckeyes every weekend. Playing for Miami, maybe not. Also Atlanta, you got Georgia Tech there. I would love it. I would love Georgia Tech. I'm sure their academics are just fine to reach into the Big Ten standards. So, but you get that Atlanta market, man, there is some talent there. We know that. Well, Billy, I think it already is the P2 conferences. When you look at what these conferences are their TV deals are, ESPN's got a sweet freaking deal at like 30 million per team. The SEC and the Big Ten are like 100, Yeah, I'm fine with PC says that instead of bringing the Florida teams to the Big Ten, maybe we schedule a couple non-con games with them. Yeah, sure. That's always doable, but I just like having, the Big Ten stuffed shirts and suits are going to love those big markets, those TV markets. That's what Jim Delaney was all about. That's why he went and got Rutgers and Maryland, because of those cable buys and those TV markets. And Miami definitely is one of the biggest cities in the country. So you add that. Who else? What do you guys think about switching over to the other side of the country, Oregon and Washington being allegedly vetted and cleared? You think it's just a matter of time before we get to 18 teams, maybe by 2024? Yeah, I agree. PC as opposed to non-con games with Youngstown State or Toledo. Yeah, we don't need more of those, do we? What do you think? Oregon and Washington. I think they could snatch up Cal and Stanford too. Have just 6 teams in that region on that coast. I think that'd be interesting. That way they can play each other, in most of their games, like every year, that pod, kind of like a pod of 6 out there. They play each other, and then they'll come east, and play less than half their schedule, because you're going to have home games. So you say your 6 home games, 6 away games. They could do like 3 or 4 away games in the Big Ten footprint in the Midwest, maybe even 2. You could go down to 2, but then do the rest on the West Coast. So you're really not traveling that much if you're a West Coast team. PC says, yeah, bring them in. Makes sense geographically, yeah, with UCLA and USC. Temper likes Oregon and Utah. Yeah, I like Utah too. I think the Big Ten makes a lot more sense for Utah than anybody else, a lot more than SEC, of course. Yeah, PC says the Big Ten West, they could be the Big Ten West. Current West could become the Central, and there'd be the East. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Utah's a good brand. I agree. Billy says, I've asked before, but the Big Ten won't want to lose money per team by adding Washington and Oregon. Yeah, but I think you're just escalating what you're bringing in as a conference. So it's just going to be divided up. So if you add 2 more teams, you go to 18, then you're just adding that much more money. So there has to be, I don't know what the numbers would be. I'm sure it's written into those contracts, or they just go back to the drawing board and hash out a new number. But I bet you it gets up. If it's all the Big Ten teams are right around 100 million per school right now, then you add Oregon and Washington, I bet you get up to freaking 110 million each school. Those are big programs, especially Oregon, man. They bring in a lot of viewers. Look at how many recruits. I know you guys are sick of talking about recruiting, but look at how many recruits are Oregon fans. Like the kids that are in high school right now came up watching Oregon in the crazy uniforms, the Chip Kelly offense, all that, So I think that's definitely going to add. It's better than I say going west is better than going east, honestly. I'd rather have Oregon, Washington, maybe not. I mean, I don't know who else in the Pac-12 you really would take. ASU sucks. Arizona sucks. Washington State sucks. So, you got USC, UCLA. That might be the cream of the crop, really, Yeah, Utah would be great in the Big Ten. They play our brand of football. Yeah, very much. They do things the right way, their coach is well respected across college football, and they make it to Rose Bowls. That's saying something. So they might not win their conference every year, and they're in a tough conference with USC, and now UCLA is getting better, and Oregon is getting better. But I think it'd be interesting to see. I would maybe if you're grabbing Oregon and Washington, they're kind of a package deal because they're in the same region. Then maybe you get Utah and I don't know, somebody on the West Coast, maybe a Stanford or Cal. I don't know. So that way you got even numbers. My point is, in that time zone, you want even numbers, Arizona State, maybe, I don't know. They got a pending investigation. Nobody wants a piece of that, probably. Yeah, much respect to Utah. You got a lot of schools out there that are just middle of the road. They're like ACC schools, right? So I don't know who else I would consider taking. Let's see here. Let me check out, see what I'm dealing with. I forget some of their teams sometimes. You got, oh yeah. You got UCLA, USC, Stanford, Cal, Arizona State. Who else? You got Oregon State. They're mediocre. Again, they're like an ACC team. I mean, you could take them if you want somebody from that region, you know, that upper Midwest or upper West Coast. Who else? Let's check the comments here. You see, it looks like Jeff and Sean won't be joining us today, whatever. Yeah, you think ASU will be on the rise, huh? With a new coach? Okay. Tipper, what is Iowa State? Yeah, PC says he's okay with Stanford or Cal or both. I agree. There's a lot out there, you know. Who else do we have here? Colorado. You want Prime? You want Coach Prime in the Big Ten? I don't know about that. Yeah, I think we mentioned everybody. Washington State. Yeah. Colorado is one I always forget about because they've been, you know, just non-existent. But Coach Prime would be pretty funny. He would shake things up, if nothing else. It is a weird marriage, though. Coach Prime and Colorado, the Buffaloes. Billy says, no Prime. Yeah. Yeah, PC says ACC is hot garbage. Someone put that one out. Yeah. I agree. You know how the Big Ten operates, though. They go after these research focused schools, you know, with high academics. Yeah. So we'll see where they go. UC is going to be good to watch this year. Looking forward to it. Okay. UC as in Cincinnati. PC. Oh, Colorado. Yeah. Yeah. Colorado will be terrible, but it will be fun to watch. Yeah. Coach Prime's going to flip it, though, real quick, isn't he? He's going to flip that roster. Any other comments, questions about conference realignment? Or we got a lot of good feedback, a lot of comments on the Larry Johnson replacement video from this morning on the Daily Blitz. What'd you guys think? Had some pushback. Some people don't like the end of the road for Larry. Yeah, I do wish we could get Rutgers back. And Maryland at least wins a couple games here and there, but we'll hang out for a few more minutes. Hit me up with anything you want in the chat. Yeah, I think the three replacements, I think the Buckeyes got great options to replace Larry Johnson. And you could even go to the NFL ranks and see who's, I have no idea if there's any Ohio State ties to any D-line coaches in the NFL right now. But if there are, you know, there might be, but you know, you got to test those waters too, you know, see what's going on out there. Yeah, Randall Joyner is probably number one. And again, Larry Johnson was supposed to retire after last season. You know, he decided to stay on for one more year. I don't know if he wants those state benefits or what, because he's turning 70 this year. But I'm not trying to shove the guy out the door. It's not like that. I love Larry Johnson. He was an excellent coach, one of the best position coaches ever at Ohio State when you think of the quality of players he cranked out. He recruited and put into the first round of the NFL draft. But I will say, depending, I'm really concerned about this 2024 defensive line class. Yeah, Randall Joyner was the first guy I talked about for Larry Johnson's replacement. Yeah, the other two guys are a little bit younger. Yeah, I know Larry wants to hand it off and to somebody capable and somebody that's not going to run it into the ground. But it's Ohio State too. I mean, we're going to make the best move possible. But I do think somebody with Ohio State ties that have served under Larry Johnson are always a strong bet. Timper has a question. Who was there before Larry Johnson? Oh boy, that's going back a ways. That would have been pre-Urban Meyer, right? Well, was it Vrabel? Vrabel was D-line when Herb first came in, right? He brought in Vrabel. Or was it Madison was linebackers? I'm pretty sure. What's that guy up to? Drinking a glass of warm milk, staring out a window somewhere? Let me see if I can come up with something here. Let's see. Greg Madison was co-defensive coordinator. Yeah, I don't think he actually coached D-line. But yeah, it's a good question. I'm pretty sure Vrabel was D-line when Fickle was still on the staff, like Urban's first couple of years, I want to say. Let me do quick search here, see if I come up with anything. Oh boy. Yeah, I keep getting Larry Johnson. Oh, Fickle was D-line coach and defensive coordinator. So Fickle and Vrabel handled that. Yeah, well, Billy says that LJ needs to bring Laurinaitis along on his recruiting trips. Yeah, well, Laurinaitis needs to be promoted to a full-time coach first. Then they can go cruising around together. But yeah, we'll see with what happens with Parker Fleming. We talked about that too. Does that guy really need to be a full-time coach? I don't know. But he makes like $500,000 a year too, something insane. Yeah, I think he's on a 2-year deal. So yeah, hit me up. Anything else on the way out the door? I'm going to lay off the recruiting for a couple days, but I'll probably hit you with some updates over the weekend. And not a lot happening right now. Camps are firing up in a couple weeks. All the official visits are firing up in June. So there'll be a lot of news coming through then, and get some eyes on some guys. But all right, boys. I don't think we had any ladies in, but if we did have any ladies watching, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. Yeah, our special teams do suck, Timper, on the way out the door. But appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, and all that stuff, and share it with somebody. Love to build up this channel as we go through the summer and hit the ground running big time once fall camp hits and we really start talking about stuff. PC says he'd like to know the timeframes for camps and stuff. Okay, I can put together a schedule for you. You want like the all the camps, like Elite 11, stuff like that, or do you want the Ohio State camps only on campus? You know, so let me know what you want there, PC. I'll be checking the comments here as I duck out the door. But Billy, talk to you later. Everybody else, appreciate you. Talk to you later, and go Bucks. Thanks, guys.